What's up, guys? Josh from Black Crow Gaming. Just wanted to jump on. Big news. Data Slate. First one on 10th. It's been exciting. We've been looking forward to it. Does it stop Eldari? That's the big question. I'm just going to do a quick reaction video today. There's going to be a deep dive later on next week with Arron and Steven. And they're going to have a special guest in for that one, so it'll be really good. So stay tuned if you're not already. I'm just going to touch a couple of key points today. Just some thoughts that I've got about it. First off, core rules. Wasn't really expecting much here, but they've actually done quite a lot, which is going to hit pretty much every army in the game. For example, devastating wounds. No more splash damage, effectively. It's not called a mortal wound anymore, so you do 6 damage off of one shot and turn it into mortal wounds, where it's not anymore. It will just kill one guy. Or do 6 damage to a tank or vehicle. So that's a really big change, and I think it's really important. Wraith Knights just going, we just wipe out entire squads in one hit just with mortal wounds was obnoxious at best. So, and then to double up with that, firing Overwatch. Big change there. I think we were expecting it. Like, it's been a real janky part of the game where, do you want to Overwatch? No. Oh, do you want to Overwatch now? I've moved this unit. No. So they've changed that, and they've stopped, for example, Desolation Marines from just going, I can't see, but I'm going to Overwatch you anyway. So again, big hit to an army that's probably about balanced at the moment, but it's just hit all the indirect. So that's quite a big deal. And just those basic changes have really, I think they're a good change. I think they were necessary. It was getting a bit silly, just going, I can't see you, but you've moved in 24 inches, I'm just going to Overwatch you. So it makes it a bit more of a key unit that has to be in the right position to fire Overwatch. So that's good. Insane Bravery. We all know Battle Shock at the start, before 10th started. We went, that's going to be amazing. It's going to be great. Well, it wasn't. It hasn't really been a big deal. We looked at armies like Chaos Knights thinking, wow, they're going to be great with all this negatives and whatever, and demons doing the same thing, and it hasn't really played that hard into it. Now you have to pay the CP before you roll the dice, just like we did in 9th. I think that's a good change. Key points in the game, if you're just going, I failed it, I'll just spend the CP. It's like there's no gameplay in that. There's no real tactical thought through that. It's just like, I failed it, so I need that unit, we'll save it. So that's a good change. Towering is taking a big hit. It's very hard because a lot of events have already kind of said that ground floor is blocking anyway, so the community's already kind of blocked towering out anyway, and then GW have just gone and slapped another thing on top of it. And not only that, Knights and Chaos Knights are already taking a points increase as it is. So, as much as they're trying to balance the game, I think Knights are pretty much out the window now. With the effect on their rerolls and now this, I don't think they're going to get as much top table play as they did at the start of 10th, which is heartfelt for me because I love Knights, but there we go. Modifying stratagems. This is big. This hits pretty much every army. So any army that can do 0 CP stratagems and can use the same one again. This is now only on battle tactic stratagems. And if you notice, if you go through the data slate, I'm not going to read all of it. You guys can find it online from GW. And effectively, they've changed a lot of stratagems, so they're not battle tactic anymore with a couple of armies. So you can only use it on those stratagems, which I think is kind of a good change. Like, be able to Overwatch twice, or some armies having really good abilities and then be able to just spam the hell out of them. I think it's really good. That's a good change. Going on to factions, we'll just pick a couple of the top ones. So Custodes, they've taken a bit of a hit. Not only have they taken a points increase, but they can only take max size of Wardens of 5 now. Same with the Custodian Guard, and even the Puricators, they can only take up to a unit of 3 now. That's a big change for them. And obviously their Unwielding Sentinel stratagem, that's been changed to an Epic Deed, Evolver. So Yeah, they've taken a bit of a hit, but I think it was kind of expected. They've been floating around in that higher percentage of the meta recently. Eldari, what can I say? I don't think they've done enough. Personally, they've hit the key units. I mean, Wraith Knights are pretty much dead now, with the points increase and the change to stratagems and the change to devastating wounds. Same with spinners, though, they're gone. There's so many good units in that codex. They can just sort of sidestep. I think we're going to see a lot more infantry-based lists, especially now that Phantasm has been changed as well. So it's only on infantry units, but I'm going to be seeing probably 10-man blobs of Wraithguard everywhere, phantasming around and still chucking out mortal wounds and killing Terminators like there's no tomorrow. So, yeah, it's just a side set for Eldari. I think we're still going to see them at the top of the meta, which is shit. But it's fine. But that's a personal thing of me. I'm not a huge fan of them. Never have been. The other big one is the Arbites or Extraction Squads. They're 110 points now. Yeah, and you can only take a unit of 10. So they've taken a big hit. Like, you can't run the small units of 5 anymore. They're not 45 points. They're 110 points for 10, which is a real commitment. It's hard to squeeze into this. So I think they're also just not going to be used now, which is a bit of a shame. The other big one, Gene Stealer Cult. They've taken a bit of a hit for the right way. So when they're popping up on blips now, they basically have to roll dice. Whether they come back or not, which I think is really strong. So that's a nice change there. And then one I have to mention is Grey Knights and Thousand Suns. So Thousand Suns have taken a bit of an increase on points, which I think is understandable, like the Vortex Beast and a few other little bits, and especially like the Sorcerers. The Sorcerers are where all the power comes from, the Cabal points, everything. So it's understandable. But on the same side of that, I don't think it's going to affect them too much. The whole change to devastating wounds doesn't really hurt them. Their stratagem-wise, nah, not really. So, and because obviously with bolters, they're doing 1 damage anyway. So even if they're getting the mortals through, it just means they're ignoring the save. So all the better for it for T-Suns. Grey Knights, I've been saying this to the Black Crow community for months. All they need is a points deduction. That's it. And they're a good army. You know, the ability of the army, the stratagems, the way the army works. Okay, they're not the punchiest or most lethal army. They never really have been. Only their psychic phase, but now that's gone. You know, so be it. But because they're now cheaper across the board, there's more of them, which is great. And I love Grey Knights. I did really well with them in 9th edition. Absolutely love them. Let's go Grey Knights. Bring it on. So I'll be playing around with lists of that. And yeah, you'll just be seeing more Grey Knights teleporting around the board when a 2-up save being an absolute nuisance. So one to watch. I think they could be the new big bads, potentially. So watch the space. Lees of Voltan, for some reason, they've taken another points decrease. They're already becoming a horde army. They're becoming more of a horde army. There's not much more I can really say about that. The actual problem with that army is the whole mechanic of the army, and they've just done fuck all about it. Other than changing a couple of very minute things, which just doesn't help them. Space Marines, as I just mentioned, they just hit Desolation Marines, which needed to happen. Only 5-man squads now. And people may question, oh yeah, well it just means I can't run 20 or 30 anymore. No, that's right. But what it really hurts is the stratagems and the abilities that unit can get. So most of the strats are like 1 CP. And if you sit down to a 10-man squad, that is really effective. And that's what makes them so good. You cut it down to a 5-man squad, it's half as effective. So it is a nerf to that. Okay, you can now take 3 into 5 if you wish. But it does mean, at least for your opponent's side, they're not getting bombarded every 2 minutes. And then with a points increase as well. So I think you'll still see them in this. I think there's still going to be a bit of an auto-occlude, whether it's 1 or 2 units. At least 1, just for that extra coverage, really, of firepower. And yeah, I think that's pretty much all I wanted to say today. Those are my sort of key takeaways. I think T-Suns are still looking strong. As I say, Grey Knights, I think Eldari will still be sitting up there somewhere. Definitely in that sort of top 3, top 4. Knights are just going to fall back down again. Admech are looking okay. I mean, they've got a few changes with them, with new invols and points reduction. So, and with the breaches and stuff, they just chuck out so much firepower. So there's a potential for them to start moving back up. Death Guard is another one. I don't know where they're going to sit. I mean, I know they're bottom of the meta right now, but they've just had a huge points reduction and a few small tweaks. So the trouble is, no one wants a horde Death Guard army, but I think the GW are trying to avoid that, but I think that's probably what's going to end up happening, and just slowballing everything across the table. So I'm going to finish it there. This was just a really quick chat with you guys. If you enjoy this content, please like, please follow, and subscribe. We really appreciate the support, and please give us a comment. Tell me your thoughts. I'd love to chat with you guys, find out what your thoughts are on the data slate, and see you guys soon. Thanks a lot. Bye.